Hey there, you're watching Wildflower Video Tips. I'm Lindsay Moe, and today I'm going to show you how to make light and airy recipe videos. Light and airy food photography might not be everyone's style, but when it comes to recipe videos, it really helps the viewer see what's going on in the scene. The technique I'm going to show you is so incredibly easy to accomplish. All you need is a well-lit video to start with and Premiere Pro for editing. If you don't edit in Premiere, you can probably replicate this technique in another high-end editing software. But I love editing in Premiere. As you probably know, I have tons of videos for getting started with that if you need help, as well as a video on how I set up my lights for recipe videos, so you can start with the best baseline possible. The technique I'm going to show you today uses a LUT, and it's not super important that you understand what LUTs are, but it stands for Lookup Table, and if you're familiar with presets in Lightroom, it's kind of like that for a video. LUTs adjust the color in your video to a preset amount while still allowing you to make the full range of changes that you normally would. The thing about LUTs is they don't look great with one click. They take a little finesse to get looking just right. One thing I want you to be aware of is that by using this LUT on my footage, I am attempting to replicate shooting in a log format. Not all cameras shoot in log, and again, it's not super important that you understand what that or a LUT is to be able to do this. But just be aware that if you do understand shooting in log and your camera is capable of it, this process would be unnecessary. If you enjoyed this video, I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe down here. Otherwise, let's dive into this tutorial. I have a video here I'm working on for pumpkin pizza. I already have my rough cut done. I have my main footage here on V1, and up here on V3 I have my B-roll or side shots. And I've separated them because I'm going to add an adjustment layer here on V2 that I only want to affect the main footage. Because they come from different cameras and they're set in different places, I like to adjust the color separately just to make sure everything looks right. So I'm going to pick something kind of in the middle here. This is an important color for this recipe, so I want to pay attention to how that looks. And I'm going to start down here under New Item, and I'm just going to create an adjustment layer. Drag that over onto V2 and extend it out the length of your clips. And now you can click on that and head into Color. I'm going to start by adjusting the input LUT under Basic Correction. We have none right now. I'm going to I actually accidentally adjusted the white balance, but we can delete that. The first thing I'm going to do is adjust this input LUT. Right now we have none. I like to start with this one that starts with Phantom. You can see it's not ideal straight out of the box, so we're going to have to go in and adjust some of these basic corrections. I like to bring my blacks down to about 80, as well as my shadows, and my contrast to 15. Now we want to make sure our white balance is good, so I'm just going to start with the eyedropper. And you can see that adjusted it a little bit. Open up your Lumetri scopes. If you don't have this one, it is Parade RGB. You can just control click or right click in here to bring those up and close any other ones that might be open, or open up the Parade RGB. So this is pretty good right now. I'm going to bring my whites up as well, and maybe the exposure. You can see it really washes out my skin tone, and especially orange colors seem to be really affected by this. But I'm also going to bring my highlights down just a little bit and check a few other spots in the video to see how it looks. So one of the problems with this is that it tends to, wash out the skin tones and change the color orange. So this I chose as a good example for how this is going to work. To fix this color, you can see it was very orange, and now it's kind of this more yellow color. We have two options. We can go into the curves and adjust hue versus hue, or we can go down to the HSL secondary and use our eyedropper tool to select a color and adjust it this way. I like to start with the curves. It's a little easier. Just grab that eyedropper and click it wherever you want to adjust the color. You can see it created 3 lines here. And if I click on one of these outside lines, it's going to adjust a lot. So I don't want to do that. I'm going to start in the middle and I'm just going to drag it up a little bit. And you can see it's getting more orange. If I turn off this checkbox, we can really see the difference. And if I want to adjust some of these other ranges of color, I can just click and create a new dot, and then I can treat this one like the first one. We don't want it to be magenta, but we do want a nice orange color. So now you can see that made a big difference. You definitely want to make sure that you haven't negatively affected your skin tones. You can see it's still very bright, but this is a nice bright white look for a video. I really like using this. If we need to make some more adjustments, you can see this got a little blown out. I can just click on that individual clip and go back to the basic corrections and maybe bring the exposure down, bring the highlights down. I could also bring my whites down if I think that's part of the problem. And that looks much better. But you also want to make sure that it flows nicely between this and that. But that's really it. I love this Phantom. I don't even know how to say all of this, but this LUT is great for creating bright, airy recipe videos. That's it. This LUT has been available in Premiere Pro for quite a while. I'm currently using the 2022 version. If you are using a different version or a lot of time has passed since the recording of this video, it may no longer be available to you, but there are tons of free LUTs available out there on the internet, so just give a search and try experiment with different ones and see what you come up with. Let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed this tutorial or you have any questions about how to accomplish this. I'd love for you to share your videos with me if you make one after watching this. We have a Facebook group that I'll link down below that you are welcome to drop your videos into for feedback. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here today. I hope before you leave, you'll give this video a thumbs up and hit subscribe down below. Otherwise, I'll be back soon with more video editing tips. See ya.